Good afternoon and welcome to Oracle Park. I'm Spanish language broadcaster Erwin Higueros, and it is my honor to be here with my fellow broadcaster Mike Krukow and all of you to celebrate and honor a great man, husband, father, grandfather, friend, teammate, and Hall of Famer Orlando Cepeda, the Baby Bull. Orlando passed away on June 28th at the age of 86, having lived a very full life. It is only fitting that on this Fiesta Gigantes, one of Orlando's favorite annual Giant celebrations, we pay tribute to the Cha-Cha and remember the decades of joy, both on and off the field, he brought to so many of us. Orlando's family is extremely grateful for the outpouring of love, support, and heartfelt remembrances they have received since his passing. And joining us today is his wife, Nidia, his children and families, Orlando Jr., Rosa and Mia, Malcolm, Elizabeth, Emmanuel, Marley, and Malcolm Jr., Ali, Camille, Abigail, Ali Jr., and Lindsay Kinsey, Carl, Charmaine, Cameron, Devin, and Carmen, and Hector, Wendy, and Hector Jr. Sometimes in life, you go through, you meet a lot of people, and you don't realize that some of those people will eventually shape your life, and that's what Orlando did to me. I met him through my broadcast partner, Tito Fuentes, and in his own way, without me realizing that he was giving me advice, he looked at me and he said, you know, a lot of times we go through life thinking, I just want that big opportunity to do something in life. But the hardest part, he said, was to identify when that opportunity is presented to you. And he made sure that my opportunity was already here. And he said, just remember, whatever you do, whether it's good or bad, it will be a reflection on the Giants, our Hispanic community, and you. And he put me last to realize that without the Giants, I'm nobody. So he said so many things, but that's the one that stuck to me.
Thank you, Erwin. When you think back when Orlando Cepeda became part of the Giants family, in 1958, I mean, he, in his lifetime, managed to meet just about every one of you. And when he met you, it was probably the same way when he met me. It was never, hey, Mike. It was always, Mike, my friend, how is your family? And that was how he would open up every conversation. Because that's what he was all about. He was about friendship and family. I always love it when John Miller talks about the Baby Bull, and he once asked him, what was your favorite nickname? I mean, the Cha-Cha, the Baby Bull, and Orlando looked at him, he says, my favorite? El Mijo de Parucho. And John says it so well, but it was the son of the bull, son of Parucho, his father, Pedro, who was an iconic figure in Puerto Rican baseball history, one of the best ever. And when Orlando was a kid, I mean, he would be the bat boy for those teams that his pop was on. His dad never had the pleasure to be able to play in the States, but he raised the son and taught him baseball, taught him to love the game, and it was Orlando who would venture to the United States to begin his career. And in 1958, the Giants were moving from New York to San Francisco, and Bill Rigney invited Orlando Cepeda because of all the things that he had done in his young career. He wanted to see this kid. He brought him into camp. He wasn't supposed to make the team, but he did. And he went on in 1958, the Giants' first year at Seal Stadium, and he became the Rookie of the Year. And he won that award unanimously. There was a style about Orlando Cepeda. There was a flair, the way that he dressed, the way that he loved music and food and family and people. And if you were his friend, you were his friend forever, as all of you have been his friend forever. When he left Puerto Rico, when he played here in San Francisco, he found a new home. He found a new family. And he's lived here the majority of his life. When the Giants brought him back in 1996, it was a great day in his life. And 3 years later, he would go in and be enshrined into Cooperstown as a Baseball Hall of Famer. I love the fact that we label our ex-players forever Giants. But Orlando Cepeda has been a forever Giant since 1958. And on an unbelievably beautiful day, surrounded by family and by love and by music, we say goodbye to him, but he will never, ever be forgotten. And for all of us, we say to you, Orlando, thank you. Thank you, Baby Bull. Thank you. In addition to all of you being here, there are many of Orlando's extended family, friends, Giants, and greater baseball family gathered throughout the park today. They're on the field right here, and many of these people are people that Orlando touched personally. We want to welcome Giants Chairman Greg Johnson, Giants President and CEO Larry Baer and his wife Pam, Giants Manager Bob Melvin, Giants General Manager Pete Patella, former Giants Managing General Partner Bill Newcomb and his wife Sally, Hall of Famer Juan Marichal and his son Juan Jr., Hall of Famer Tony Oliva and his daughter Anita, Special Giants Assistant to Baseball Operations Dusty Baker and his wife Melissa, granddaughter of Roberto Clemente, Christina Clemente, and her husband Sam, President of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, Josh Rawich, Executive Director of the Giants Community Fund, Sue Peterson, Willie Mays' son, Michael Mays, the family of Willie McCovey, his wife Estella, and daughter Allison, the family of Horace Stoneham, the Giants owner who signed Orlando back in 1955 as a 17-year-old kid from Puerto Rico, Jamie and Kim Rupert, and Peter Stoneham. Former Giant executives responsible for bringing Orlando back to the Giants family, Pat Gallagher and Mario Alioto. The Giants staff who became close friends and took great care of Orlando, Bertha Fajardo and Russ Stanley. Friends Pat Bonds and Renee Anderson. Former General Manager Bobby Evans. Giants coach Ron Wotus. Giants legendary clubhouse manager Mike Murphy. And many Giants alumni and all-time greats, Fred Brining, Mike Felder, Nate Oliver, Noah Lowry, Rich Robertson, Marvin Bernard, Ray Durham, J.T. Snow, Sergio Romo, Jeffrey Leonard, and Barry Bonds. And now please welcome Giants President and CEO, Larry Baer.
Thanks, Kruk. Thanks, Erwin. What a gathering. For the Baby Bull, it's super appropriate we would have such a collection of baseball's greatest. On behalf of Greg Johnson and the Giants ownership group, our front office, our entire team, thank you, Nidia, Orlando Jr., Malcolm, Carl, Hector, Ali, and your families for sharing Orlando with the Giants and with MLB for parts of 8 decades. 8 decades. It's our honor to pay tribute to Orlando today and reflect on what made him so dear to the Giants organization and truly made him one of a kind. As Kruk said, the day he came into San Francisco Giants baseball was the day the San Francisco Giants arrived in San Francisco. April 15th, 1958, Orlando stepped to the plate, his second at bat in the major leagues, and hit a home run to right field at Seal Stadium against the Dodgers. As Kruk said, then he goes on to become Rookie of the Year that year, 1958, and on with a storied Hall of Fame career, including National League Most Valuable Player in 1967. But for all of Orlando's accomplishments, the way so many of us out here got to know Orlando, and so many people in the Giants front office now, was in his post-career life, his post-on-field career life, where he lived his life with heart, care, generosity, joy, dance, and unwavering commitment to serving humanitarian causes. For 33 years, Orlando served as a Giants Community Ambassador and a member of the Giants Community Fund Advisory Board. 33 years. He visited hospitals, senior centers, schools throughout the Bay Area. That's how I came to know the Baby Bull. Strong man, huge heart. Spoke at all of our field dedications. And he would also, for the club itself, visit our minor league facilities. He would mentor our Hispanic players. And he would go out in the community and speak to at-risk youth about the dangers of drugs and alcohol. He'd also do some recruiting. I remember when Felipe Alou came in to manage the Giants in 2003, the first call he got was from Orlando Cepeda. Orlando adored his Giants family, and they adored him back. Pat Gallagher, who you met, and Bob Lurie were fierce advocates for Orlando's induction into the Hall of Fame. In the 1980s, the entire organization mobilized to get a campaign going through the Veterans Committee, making calls, sending cards to make sure that Orlando got to his rightful place in the Hall of Fame. And he was that beloved inside this organization and in our community. I want to call out for a moment Bertha Fajardo, our Giants Manager of Community and Family Programs. Bertha worked closely with Orlando to manage his schedule, his appearances, his special requests throughout the years. During those 27 years they worked together, they formed a special father-daughter-like bond. She was in contact with him and his family more than anyone in this organization, always making sure he was taken care of. Bertha, where are you? Are you? There we are, Bertha. Stand up, Bertha. There were so many moments in many of our lives where Orlando was close to us. We had a family emergency years ago, 20 years ago. Orlando was there at the hospital. We had a reunion in 2018, and Candy Maldonado, one of our great former Giants, was in the hospital and here in San Francisco, and Orlando came, visited Candy, offered Candy to stay in his home, would call every hour, literally, to see how Candy was doing. That was Orlando. That was the cha-cha that we know. As you know, when we opened the ballpark to capture his spirit, we opened a cha-cha bowl stand out in left field. Anybody ever been there? Well, it was Orlando. It was Orlando's idea, and Orlando was there serving cha-cha bowls for many of the years in the beginning of the ballpark. So as we think back to Orlando and his spirit, we know that somewhere in the universe, cha-cha is pounding the conga drums at the Copacabana, swaying to the cool sounds of Dave Brubeck at the Blackhawk, and bringing his spirit to all the former players up there with him. We love you, Orlando. We will never forget you.
Thank you, Larry. And now please welcome Hall of Famer Tony Oliva, who played his entire MLB career with the Minnesota Twins, carrying a lifetime batting average of .304. He is Cuban-born, and like his good friend Orlando, he was also a Rookie of the Year, a multi-time All-Star and World Series champion. They both were also sons of former Pro Bowl player, which might be another reason why they became lifetime friends. Tony Oliva.
You know, it's for me, it's very tough to stop here today and speak about somebody, Orlando Cepeda, that I have the opportunity to meet him in 1963 in New York. We played this exhibition game in Program, New York. All Latino ball players. Marichal was there. Orlando Cepeda, Clemente, all those guys. I was a little rookie. I'm from Cuba. I play for Minnesota. And Orlando Cepeda come out to me. I say, hey, rookie, Tony. I don't know Orlando. He don't know me, but he came to me. And he was a superstar. From that moment, Orlando Cepeda never forgot me. I never forgot him. We come out as a brother. He was a special person. He never forgot you. And I remember that winter, I played in Puerto Rico, winter baseball. Orlando already was in Puerto Rico. He came out to Arecibo to see me. I can't believe it. When you have a superstar like Orlando Cepeda, already in the big league, I was nobody from AAA, and he get me like I was his little brother. We were the same age, only 2 or 3 months different. But that friendship came out for over 60 years, since 1963. Almost every month we talk and give me a lot of encouragement, especially when I was, in the battles for Cooperstown. He called me all the time and he preached to everybody to help me to put me in the Hall of Fame. Orlando was a special person. He loved music. All the good Cuban music, Puerto Rico music, I used to have it because Orlando Cepeda used to sign to me. I don't know how he did it, but he got the way to get it from people. And he signed all that stuff to me. I wish he still have a chance to play in this beautiful ballpark here in San Francisco. This is a beautiful park. I think Orlando deserved the best because he was the best in the field, in the street, from the family, friends, and everybody. I'm from Cuba, like I say. If I meet him already, I was in the minor league, but we come out very close, very close, very close. And that was unbelievable, because when he was in Cooperstown, I talked to him not too long ago, before he died, and he was thinking to come to Cooperstown. I said, okay, I'll see you in Cooperstown, because he loved people. He liked to be with people. He liked to help anytime he had a chance to help people and be around people. I don't have enough words to say how I'm feeling about Orlando, that he not be here today with us. But we have to be very lucky to get him for over so many years. He lived a beautiful life, and he was a great, great people. And the person loved him. I love Orlando. He was my brother, and you know, I got that in my heart forever. Thank you, San Francisco, for giving me this opportunity and doing this beautiful thing for Orlando and Orlando family. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm quite certain that Orlando was playing his drums and dancing his heart out in heaven. Wow. That was spectacular. Thank you to Susana y su orquesta adelante and our salsa dancers from Volare Studios. My broadcast partner, member of the Cuban Hall of Fame and forever giant Tito Fuentes, could not be here today, but he wanted to share with all of you these recorded thoughts about his good friend and teammate.
Mi querido hermano Orlando Peruchín Cepeda, palabras, es muy corto el tiempo para expresar quién fuiste y qué eres para mí. Tuve la oportunidad en el año 1965 que los Gigantes me subieron a Grandes Ligas y me asignaron que Orlando Cepeda era mi compañero de cuarto. Y aprendí muchísimo. ¿A qué aprendí? A prepararme la noche anterior del juego, quién va a lanzar, qué fue lo que pasó el día antes, la última vez que me enfrenté a ese lanzador, etcétera, etcétera. Aprendí muchísimo de Orlando, pero también, y creo que fue más importante, a prepararme para la vida, es decir, fuera del juego de béisbol, cómo comportarte con las personas en los hoteles. Lo más importante, respetar el juego de béisbol, que eso es lo más importante, y al enemigo. Esas dos cosas nunca las olvidaré de Orlando Cepeda. Y anécdotas que tengo con él son demasiadas, pero las tengo en mi corazón. Es todo lo que puedo decirle, porque horas necesitaría para hablar del gran número 30, Peruchín Cepeda.
Thank you, Tito. It is now my honor to welcome to the podium two Giants legends who, as young ball players, were inspired by Orlando. Teammates and friends, Hall of Famer Juan Marichal and future Hall of Famer Dusty Baker.
Thank you. My heart's really heavy right now thinking about Orlando. I was 19, 20 years old. I was with him almost every day in spring training when he got traded from the St. Louis Cardinals to the Braves. He taught me so much about life. He was probably one of the smartest guys that I've ever met, and he really taught me about the spiritual part of life and also about the mental part of life. His family, I just want to say I love you guys. You've always made me feel like part of the family, which I've seen Orlando Jr. when he was like 3 years old. And he was running up and down the stairs, distracting me in center field. And now here he is, grown. All his brothers and sisters, I've known all of them since they were this high. I'm Uncle Dusty to them, but they are family to me. And I just love the fact that you invited me here today to speak about Orlando. And I just want to introduce my good friend, Juan Marichal, that I was in love with as a kid. That was one of the greatest pitchers of all time and a great friend of Orlando.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very sad today because I have to talk about what I consider my brother. We gather today to honor the life and legacy of Orlando Cepeda, a beloved friend, teammate, and true icon of the game. It is hard to find the right words to encapsulate the impact Orlando had on all of us, both on and off the field. Orlando wasn't just a remarkable athlete. He was a beacon of generosity and kindness. Beyond his athletic prowess, he was Orlando's spirit that truly made him stand out. His laughter was infectious, his wisdom profound, and his loyalty unwavering. Today, we remember not just great players, but the incredible man who gave us so much invariableness around him. Orlando Cepeda's memory will forever live in our hearts and testament to a life well lived and a friend deeply cherished. Nidia, Orlando, we call him Orlandito because I consider him one of my nephews. Ali, Malcolm, and Carl, and Orlando Cepeda, rest of the family. Our hearts are with you. Rest in peace, Orlando. You are greatly missed, but your spirits will continue to inspire us all. Thank you, Giants fans, for having me today in this wonderful stadium. I wish I could have played here, but my year was in Candlestick Park. So thank you to all of you. I love you, fans. Thank you.
What a special bond they all shared. As we remember and celebrate Orlando, it is also fitting that today, throughout Major League Baseball, it is Roberto Clemente Day, and his humanitarian legacy is being honored. Orlando and Roberto were close friends and fellow Puerto Ricans, and after Roberto's sudden passing on December 31st in 1972 during a humanitarian mission to deliver relief supplies for earthquake victims in Nicaragua, the Cepeda and Clemente's family grew even closer. Orlando was like a godfather to Roberto's granddaughter, Christina, who I welcome to the podium to share a few remarks about Orlando before she presents her grandfather's award to our Giants nominee for 2024.
Good afternoon, San Francisco. Some would say I hit the baseball jackpot. Very proudly, I am the oldest granddaughter of Roberto Clemente. But curiously enough, my mom and Orlando's late wife, Miriam, were longtime best friends. When I was born, Orlando and Miriam were the first person to see me in the hospital. And from my first breath, they were there for me in more ways that I can count. Both of them shaped the woman I am today. I am lucky for having the privilege to have lived with them and learned from them the value of cultivating relationships. and treating everyone with respect. Both of them were just real and kind. I'm extremely grateful for being here today, celebrating the life of an outstanding baseball player, but most importantly, an extraordinary human being that I have the honor and the privilege to call Tio. Some people call him Baby Bull, Cha-Cha, Big O, Hoff, Papi, but I called him Tio. To me, he was a godfather, an uncle, and a father figure. He wasn't just a baseball legend to the world. To me, he was family. He was a man that stood up for what he believed, the fiercest and most loyal friend. He broke race and cultural barriers that helped open the path for the next generations of Black, Latino, and Puerto Rican baseball players. Thanks to players like him, Abuelo Roberto, Juan Marichal, Tony Oliva, and many others, today we have more diversity in baseball. On the field, Tio's talent was undeniable. His determination and passion inspired generations of fans and players. But off the field, he was even more remarkable. He taught me that greatness is not just about what you achieve, but how you uplift others along the way. His legacy isn't just in the records he broke or the games he won. It's in the lives he touched with his humility, his generosity, and his infectious joy. He had this incredible way of making you feel like you were the most important person in the room, whether you were a family, a friend, or a fan. He wasn't just passionate about the game. He was passionate about the people around him. He showed me the love he had for the city of San Francisco, not just by playing for the Giants, but in how he connected with the community. The love he had for Puerto Rico was great. The love he had for the Giants was fear. Today, just like the love for his family, today we mourn the loss of a great athlete, but we also celebrate the life of a great human being. Today, we mourn the loss of an incredible man whose spirit will live on Giants history in our hearts forever. The Orlando Cepeda, you will forever be missed. Forever big, forever Giant, forever in our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. It is now my honor to welcome to the field a Giants player who best represents the game of baseball throughout extraordinary character, community development, philanthropy, and positive contributions both on and off the field. Mike Yastrzemski has earned this nomination through the work he and his wife Paige have committed themselves to, which includes Mustache May, bringing awareness to mental health with a special focus on military and veterans programs throughout the Heart and Armor Foundation. He is also an avid supporter of Family House, where he regularly visits children with cancer and other life-threatening illnesses. And he is a loyal supporter of Junior Giants and the Giants Community Fund. Mike is joined by his wife Paige and their children Quinley and Kai and his mom Anne Marie.
Congratulations, Yaz, and it certainly is a deserving honor. In closing, we wanted to leave you with one more special tribute to Orlando. And remember that in 1958, when he broke in, he was a rookie to Willie Mays. And Willie Mays adopted him then, and he never let him go. And when Willie was told that Orlando's health was failing, he got the Giants, and he says, please come. I want to say some words about my friend. And I want to make sure that they're heard on his celebration of life. I don't think I'll be able to be there, but I just want to make sure that these things get said. Fitting, Willie was more worried about Orlando than he was about himself. Willie preceded Orlando in death by 10 days. And these are his words. Today is a hard day for me. I've known Orlando for 70 years. Since he was 17 years old, he was like a little brother. And how do you say goodbye to a little brother? Orlando was our bat boy in Puerto Rico when I played winter ball for the Santurce team. And that 1954 team was a great team. We had Roberto Clemente and Valmy Thomas, Buster Clarkson and Bob Thurman. Some people said it was one of the best Winter League teams ever put together. And there was this big kid always hanging around. And they called him the Baby Bull, after his father, Pedro Cepeda, the Bull. And sometimes the kid caught balls Clemente and I would throw in from the outfield, but you could just feel how much he loved the game. He grew up fast, and 4 years later, he'd be my Giants teammate. Orlando stayed an eager kid to all of us. He looked up to us veterans. He watched everything, and he learned all kinds of things, everything. When he saw that I carried a record player with me, he got one the next day. He trained the same way. He grew stronger, more powerful, more confident. He was a kid playing with men and learning how to become a man. I knew he watched us, and that made me watch him too, and make sure I was doing the right things for him. The kid could play, and I know he'd be all right. I knew it. I felt proud of Orlando. You already know his successes, his records, his numbers. He's an MVP winning Hall of Famer, but to me, he was like family. While he was looking up to me, I was watching out for him. He made his own way, but he will always be my little brother. You always look after your little brother, even after they're grown up. So long, kid.
Orlando Cepeda, gracias por las memorias, gracias por ser un gran gigante, pero más importante, gracias por ser un gran amigo.
Thank you, everybody.